Hello everybody, hey, it's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards and Other Collectibles and Hobbies. How you doing? It's been over a month since I posted a video. That's because at my work we're doing a lot of overtime once again, and we'll be doing overtime all through December as well into January. Even means I gotta work on Christmas and all that. Today I wasn't feeling so hot when I got up. Could barely stand up. Could barely wake up, I should say. So I took a day off, and I thought, well, here's a good time to do some old style classics, baseball cards, and other collectibles and hobbies videos, and because I won't be doing a whole lot through December. And I had some stuff that I've been wanting to do, I just haven't got around to doing it, so let's just do it. So this episode is going to be a non-baseball one, but it will have some cards, which I will show. More collectibles, and this is the kind of stuff that maybe I'll be doing on my other channel, Rob's TV World. So check out Rob's TV World if you want to see stuff about concerts and sporting events and everyday carry kind of stuff, desk stuff, pins, watches, cowboy hats, and all that kind of stuff, rings, and all the hubbub that I do that's not involved with old style classics baseball cards. Alright, so today I've been wanting to talk about, if you've seen my channel, ever since 1987, like a lot of other guys, I was a huge Debbie Gibson fan. I had a crush on her walking out the door one day, seeing her on a Shake Your Love video. This was the time in the 80s I was just getting really into Led Zeppelin and Robert Plant and all that stuff, and so I usually kind of didn't listen to pop stuff anymore like I would have done in middle school. But I saw her and I was captivated, and had a crush on her, and of course that makes you like the music, start to listen to their music, just like I imagine some guys have a crush on Taylor Swift. Other guys may not like the music and all that kind of stuff, but if you have a crush on somebody, you tend to like their music, whether it's Taylor Swift or Britney Spears or something like that. And I like her stuff. It's fun, innocent, kind of 80s stuff. And so she, as you know, I've seen her in concert. I've been waiting since 87 to see her. She never really went through Albuquerque when I lived there. I have met her and talked to her. I got to see her on the mixtape tour. I don't know, about 5-6 years ago, where she'd come out, do a few songs, and then Salt and Peppa would come out, do a few songs, and like Tiffany or whoever would come out, do a few songs, and then she'd come out, do a few more. So she did like 6 songs. And I was at the big arena, so what is it, New Kids on the Block or something like that. Anyways, but never got to see her like full on her own concert. And then she did come through Livermore, which is about 40-50 miles from here, and that was in 2023, July 13, 2023. So I did get to go see her there, full on concert, not some 3 concert set like at some, what do they call it, parade or something like that, or TV show, which I did get to meet her. And then lo and behold, she was coming back again to that same place, but the day before that, she was going to be up here in Menlo Park, which is, I don't know, 8-9 miles up the road from me, just past Stanford School and the Stanford Mall, and then like another 100 yards past that, there's a little theater on the side of the road, right on El Camino, and that's where she was playing. So of course I bought my ticket. So here we go to see Debbie Gibson's Newstalgia Tour, live greatest hits at the Guildtheatre, and excellent show. Little theater, maybe holds about 300-500 people, but just great, just right there, right on El Camino, which is the main street that runs between basically San Jose to San Francisco, without going on the freeway. And this is a little old movie theater. you know, it's like in between Stamford and Atherton, which is like really ritzy part of the Bay Area peninsula, whatever. So as you can see, I paid my $55, and then I raced over there and picked up the ticket will call because I like to collect ticket stubs, because I like to get them signed. But of course, at this show, I didn't get to meet her this time, because when after the show I went over and was talking to the dude at the souvenir stand, because I had talked to him before, and then that's when I met her last time. But I guess she left right away, talked to some people right after the concert, and they drove off. I guess she was hungry, and they didn't have their bus there this time. But I did get to meet the original guy who was in the videos playing the saxophone. So the saxophonist guy, one of the dancers who did a duet with her, and her guitarist, Ariel, and she's really cute. And so me and her talked a little bit and kind of hit it off, and she just went to Japan and did her own tour, because she's kind of a heavy metal guitarist, a little tiny girl, like 5'2" or something like that, does all kinds of playing guitar while doing acrobatics and all that. So she just did a Japan tour, and I saw that she just got packed today. As you can see, this was concert 593 for me. So love me Debbie Gibson. So there's the ticket stub. I'm not going to take it out of that. Real quick, I'll just show you all the set list, and then we'll get to the stuff other than the ticket stub that was my collectibles part of this thing. So let's see. Debbie Gibson set list, Guildtheatre, Menlo Park. Yeah, it started about maybe a few minutes after that. And one of her new songs, Dance for You. Like, this is like a video showing, you know, like a blurb about her career. Of course, Out of the Blue, Foolish Beat, my favorite song. One of my 3 favorite songs. So, like, her popular songs, Foolish Beat's my favorite because that's her first #1. I love that song. I'm a big ballad guy. Then I also love Between the Lines from the first album. That's probably my favorite song. And let's see here. Oh, it's kind of a toss-up. Let's see. Between the Lines, Foolish Beat, and it's slipping my head right now. Shake Your Love, that's probably the other one, because that's where I discovered her, walking out the door one day and saw that video playing on MTV in like 1987, and I stopped in my tracks like, who is this? Of course, she did Play the Field, which was cool, off the first album. No More Rhyme, which I've never seen her do the full Vaughn version. That's cool. Little montage of songs. Like Anything Is Possible is pretty popular. And of course, Shake Your Love. I love that. Okay, so that's the guy I believe that I met. Well, I'll say here in a second. Let's see, Only in My Dreams, obviously a big one. She's pushing this new video right now for Legendary. Not my favorite song from her new album. But it's good. It's just out of all the songs, that's one of the ones I'm not a big fan of. I think I think she said she wrote it about Kobe Bryant after he died, and I'm not a big fan of that guy. Should Have Been the One's good. Oh yeah, so Step Stewart, Love Under My Pillow, which is a duet she did with this guy, who's a dancer of hers, and it was meant for some cartoon movie that never got made. We Could Be Together, great song. I've been wanting to see that live. Let's see, what else do I want to see? Sure, This So-Called Miracle, Between the Lines, and What You Want. Those are the ones that I would like to see live, but probably never will get to. Electric Youth, you know, I like the song, but it wasn't like a big thing for me. You know, the album's good, but that song in particular, a lot of girls like that. And then this little montage of songs for other people. But I heard she was going to be doing Baby Can I Hold You by Tracy Chapman, which she did in some of the previous shows to this, but she didn't do it, and she actually didn't do it in the next show, that one that was in Livermore. And when you look at the Livermore concert, she actually did more at this one, even though the theater is like half the size. So that's cool. So anyways, that was that. That's what I got to see. And then, as you can see here, this is her guitarist, Ariel. You know, became friends through like Facebook or anyways. So really cool, tiny, and plays and shreds the guitar. Very heavy, hard rock, heavy metal kind of player. But Debbie Gibson hired her to do some of these tours, and actually she was the guitarist the first time I seen Debbie. And as you can see, there's a couple things are in my hand to go along with what I got. And then of course we had the girl taking the picture, got us a blurry one, so that sucks. And let me see here. So maybe a better picture of the ticket stub. That's when I first got it. And then I did get this poster. So this here poster was in the window outside the theater, you know, like when you go to a movie theater and you see what's playing posters, you know, like the movie posters. Well, they have the posters in that thing for upcoming shows and stuff. And so actually after the show, somebody said she left, but of course we don't believe them, you know, security. So we stuck around for about a half an hour hoping she would pop out. And that's how I met the dancer, the original saxophone player from her videos, and then Ariel, the guitarist. But while I was out there, I asked them, I was like, hey, what are you guys going to do with these posters, you know, that's in there? And they said, well, the girl's like, oh, you want it? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, oh, let me go get the key and a poster to replace it for some other show, like ZZ Top or something. And they went in there, opened it, and gave me this poster. So I was going to have Debbie sign it, but I guess they didn't lie. She actually did leave. So I did get that poster, which I'll show you here in a second. Then, of course, I did get some videos of the show and some pictures. So that's the guy that she was doing that solo or that song with, duet. There's Debbie. So as you can see, there's about 4 people from the front of the stage in the crowd. There she is. Back when that's when I fell in love with her, right there. That Debbie, that's the one that I had a crush on. As you can see in the Shake Your Love video going on in the background there. She's still pretty. She's off, you know, super skinny now. She's really sweet. Nice girl. Let's see. I'll say some more video. Let's see, a couple more videos, I think. There's no more rhyme. As you can see, the girl from the Wonder Years who was in that video, that Winnie or whatever her name was. There she is doing Foolish Beat, my favorite song, other than Between the Lines and Shake Your Love. And that's the original guy from the original video. But he had a really long hair back then, but does the saxophone for that first album, Foolish Beat, or toured with her a lot. And of course fell in love with that version of her too. Really classy looking in the Foolish Beat video. So not playing the music, but I'm sure Deb probably wouldn't mind some other stuff. That's like the intro to the concert right before she came out. Alright, so that's that for those. Let me pause you for a second. Alright, thanks for hanging in there. So just to start, that's why this camera's kind of at an odd angle here. So this is the poster that I got that they pulled out. It's just paper, but they pulled out of the marquee, I guess. I don't know what else to call it for what's going on. So the Debbie Gibson Newstalgia Live Greatest Hits. And so I was only able to get one of these, as far as I know, because it was one actually on the outside of the theater, you know. I was going to put this up at work at my desk for a while, kind of rotate in some stuff like Fleetwood Mac and my Stevie Nicks stuff, because I love her as well. But there you go, it's just a concert poster, but the actual one from the concert. So it's too bad I couldn't have got her to sign it. You can see she's still really pretty, very skinny, but she's a sweet, really nice. So that's that. So I've been wanting to do this video a long time so I could actually bring that poster and hang it up. That's been the big delay. Alright, and since I like to support Deb, you know, buying her stuff as often as I can. Last time I bought a fridge magnet. And this time they had one of these pins. So there's my old style classics collectible non card. So I got the magnet last time, which was different for a different tour, and so this was like the only other thing they had that I would have wanted, because, you know, like, I like rock and all that, but typically guys don't wear female artist band shirts. So yeah, as much as I love Debbie Gibson and I'll defend her and liking her, I'm not going to be wearing a t-shirt, you know, unless I work for her or something like that, or we started dating. So anyway, so I went ahead and threw some support by buying this. Maybe I'll hang that at work or something like that. So I got that, and then as you can see in that picture with the guitarist Ariel, I was holding this and that poster. But I did buy her new book that she's been pushing for the last, came out about 3 weeks before the actual tour stop. So it's her sort of autobiography, not like a complete autobiography, but like everything that's led up to what she's doing right now, kind of autobiography. So it does go into all kinds of whatever that is going on. You can read these blurb here if you want to see basically what this book is going to be all about, you know. So if you want to pause that, check that out. There's her and her mom. Her mom was her manager, kept her from getting taken advantage of, and when she was 16, keeping guys from trying to sleep with her, like producers and all that kind of stuff. So there's Deb. And so that's kind of what you get there. And of course, since I went to the show, you know, I got the autograph version. Now, of course, she signed it that day, but not in front of me. She would go to tour stops and actually sign books or records and stuff, and that's what they would sell. So there we got a Debbie Gibson autograph once again. So now I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 of her autographs. This book, 2, well, 1 on a record, 1 on a ticket stub, and 1 that came on a photo that came in a record. So 2 of them, you know, were just, actually 3 of them were like pre-signed stuff, and then the other one was in person. So I haven't really read all but a page or 2 of it because, like I said, I've been super busy, so I haven't had time to do a lot of that stuff. And so that's that for that concert, other than you know, the pictures and the videos and stuff like that. And then we'll go back in time. I don't have the New Kids on the Mixtape Tour one. This one's kind of slipping in here. I'm gonna have to adjust that. But that's from 2023, where I met her back behind the I'll show you pictures here in a second. So this is Robert, Love You, Debbie. Where I actually got to talk to her for a minute. It was a little spastic, but she was super sweet. And as you can see, we went to see Taylor Swift. I won tickets to that. And instead of selling them, my wife wanted to see her. So anyway, so I got to see Debbie and actually meet her. Told her I liked her growing up, and she's like, oh, thanks, you know, but she was super sweet. And she did sign my ticket stub, and I had her sign it in green because, as you can see, this album that I'm going to show you is kind of a green theme. So we got that from her. At that other concert, they were selling this. Body Remembers, her latest album, which has that legendary song on it that I was talking about. And of course that was signed. And I guess this you're supposed to play at like 45 speed. The way they what do you call, mastered it or whatever. But I have never opened it or played it because ever since we moved to this apartment, so I really haven't used the record player. So everything's kind of blocked off over there. It's kind of hard to get at the record player, and just haven't been in the mood, I guess. So this is, I've opened it, looked at it, but it's never been played or touched. So my favorite song of this album is, where to go? Tell Me Love. I like that song a lot. I think Tell Me Love's good. I'm a big fan of Strings is an excellent song. They're all good. Not a big fan of this version of Lost in Your Eyes. But Strings is really good. I like Runway, but some of the guys that I work with, when this would pop up on my little SD card, would be like, they don't like it, but I dig it. I think it's cool. But otherwise, really good. Highly recommend it. And she got a Christmas album that's got some really good stuff on it that came out around the same time. But there you go. So that was my second Debbie Gibson autograph. And then of course I bought the original album, Out of the Blue, which, as you can see from Barnes & Noble, came with a hand-signed picture of Debbie Gibson, which isn't in here. It's in my concert ticket book, but not the one that I have in front of me. So of course this is the album that came out when she was like 16 and I was about the same age, and when I fell in love with her. But so obviously almost every song on this is just epic, but that's my favorite song right there, Between the Lines. I love that. This is how I discovered her, so I love that song. Of course, Foolish Beat, her first #1, is great. All these other ones, Red Hot's really good. All of them are really good. But I don't know, something about this one really gets to me. Yeah, it's not a ballad or a fast song. It's just something in between. It's really good. Check it out if you like Debbie Gibson. And then, as I said, you know, I got the autograph there, and the magnet, which I don't have here. That's at work. And really quick, to wrap all this up, I'm going to show you the pictures of me and her after that show. That's her signing this ticket stub right here. So there's your collectible. So of course I'm a little like, duh, you know, but, and like her dancers and stuff are in the background. She's not wearing much of nothing there. So that's outside of the Bankhead Theater in Livermore 2 years ago. And, you know, staring off in space, but thank God they took a bunch of pictures. Actually smiling in one of them finally. And then we got this. So I don't know if the light's a little much. Turn that away. Of course I look like, you know, I'm actually, I remember, like, is she doing the camera right? So instead of smiling, I'm like, do you know what you're doing? But yeah, really cute. I actually got to see my girl. These ladies were nice there. All right. There's another one. A little bit different shot. So, and then the signed ticket. There we go. The signed album. So I did a video about this when I got all that stuff a couple years ago, I think. Alright, so that would be that. As far as that goes, once again, I should have taken a picture with the saxophone guy, but, you know, I was kind of like, mostly thinking about Debbie Gibson coming out. But at least I got a picture with the guitarist, so that's cool. Ariel, she's super sweet. Check her out. I'm gonna pause you so I can get her name right. Alright, everybody. Sorry it's gone on for a long time. But her name is Ariel Bellvalaire, or Ariel, so Ariel. And the last name she goes by professionally is Bellvalaire. So she got a bunch of videos on YouTube and her own channel and all that kind of stuff. So really, really nice, really good guitarist. Yeah, very entertaining. So yeah, check her out if you like. And so just wanted to make sure I got her name right. I didn't want to, you know, she obviously that's probably not a real name, like her complete real name, but um, so. And for the old style classics baseball cards and other cards and collectibles, let's show you the Debbie Gibson cards that I actually do have to wrap this up. Superstars music cards, I believe from 90, 91, in that era. So you can pause that, read about her. I like that image of her. So just early 90s after she'd been out for a little while. Of course, one of these has a mistake right there. They call it Foolish Heart, but it was Foolish Beat. Her first #1. This cute one of her. You know, just kind of girl next door, pretty, like, you know. I mean, she's probably the hot girl at school, but, you know, not Angelina Jolie or something like that. Just, you know. Yeah. And, yep. Everything in my male instinct told me that, yep, me and this girl should have kids. That kind of, that deep down, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Crush that you get on celebrity, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the girl. Celebrity-wise, kind of like Princess Leia syndrome. And then this is like a bootleg card, a little tobacco-sized one that I wanted to get just because I like tobacco cards. Don't worry about that. That's not the card. That's the plastic because I had to stretch it to fit this in there from a binder. So there it is, folks. I believe that's that. Let's see the book, the poster, the concert ticket, the button, and so that was my Debbie Gibson Newstalgia story, and it was a lot of fun, and appreciate her band members for being awfully cool, and it was a great show, just excellent. She always puts on a good show. Her voice is obviously different than it was back then, but the one thing I have noticed, like for a while there, let's say 10, 15 years ago, because she did a lot of Broadway, so when you would see her on YouTube or something doing one of her pop songs from back then, they almost had that kind of Broadway voice, and I kind of didn't like that so much. I was like, I just want to hear her sing it the way I know. But so I've noticed that she's definitely gotten away from that. So she's definitely sounding a lot more like what you would think she would sound like as she got older, without the whole kind of la 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 kind of Broadway stuff. She does like little bits and pieces in her concert where she'll be doing something that she did like on Broadway, and she does it then, but she's not letting it bleed into her pop songs, which that was the one criticism I had to it. I was like, I just want to hear "Shake Your Love." I don't want to hear the Broadway version of it. But that's just me. She could do whatever she wants. But anyways, and it was right after her birthday again, so I guess she's 54 now, so end of August. And yeah, so took me a while to get around to doing this video, but here you go. So alright, so the next one shouldn't be as long, but hey, I owe my girl Debbie props because obviously had a crush on her since I was basically a kid, a teenager, and I think old Ariel likes me. Yeah. All right, everybody. Delusions, right? Hey, thanks for sticking around. I'm still only at like 253 or 4 subscribers or something like that. But I appreciate every one of you. Nobody's really been commenting lately other than congratulations on 2 years. So I haven't been consistent with the content, but as I said, doing a ton of overtime, and still got more to come for at least till January. Then we'll get a little bit of a break till May. So anyway, and then Alan Ginter will be coming out again, so that'll be good for me. All right, everybody. Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards and Other Collectibles in Ariel. For our girl Debbie. Thanks. See ya.